President Trump and the First Lady arriving in the UK for a two-day state visit. Air Force One touching down in the UK around 9 p.m. local time Tuesday. King Charles will be hosting Trump and Melania at Windsor Castle. The two were greeted by members of the Royal Air Force and are scheduled to attend several events this week, including a carriage procession, military flypast, and state banquet.
We had a good flight. A lot of people came with us. And tomorrow's going to be a very big day, Mr. Ambassador. Mr. President, it's going to be a historic day. It's going to be great. I love Turnberry. I love Aberdeen. I have a lot of things here that they warm my heart. I want to tell you, it's a very special place.
Trump is expected to hold a press conference with Prime Minister Keir Starmer early Wednesday, followed by a bilateral meeting. This as the president addressed a series of issues at home and abroad before boarding Air Force One. Take a look.
President Trump praises the unique honor he's being given by the United Kingdom ahead of his departure for an unprecedented second state visit, as the administration works to advance the MAGA agenda and heal a nation still fraught with division.
Well, my relationship is very good with the UK, and Charles, as you know, who's now king, is my friend. And it's the first time this has ever happened where somebody was honored twice, so it's a great honor. And this one's at Windsor. They've never used Windsor Castle for this before. They used Buckingham Palace. And I don't want to say one's better than the other, but they say Windsor Castle is the ultimate, right?
Trump took time to warn Hamas against using hostages as human shields amid Israel's press into Gaza, saying there will be hell to pay. And touched on a TikTok deal, saying rather than simply extending a pause on the ban, he and Chinese authorities have a framework to preserve the social media app he credits in part for his return to the White House.
We have a deal on TikTok. I've reached a deal with China. I'm going to speak to President Xi on Friday to confirm everything up. We made a very good trade deal, and I hope good for both countries, but a very different deal than they've made in the past.
Trump also maintained the Federal Reserve is and should be an independent body, but remained critical of their decisions and advised the Fed to listen to very smart people. Upon learning of the passing of actor Robert Redford, the president expressed his condolences, but declined to share a favorite movie. He did, however, tout the $950 billion and $650 billion in tariffs the U.S. is presently collecting from the EU and Japan, respectively, saying should the Supreme Court side with his administration on tariffs, it will usher in a new era for the American economy, at home and abroad.
These are countries that paid us nothing until I came along, and China's paying us a tremendous tariff.
Speaking of Europe, Trump maintained his call for European nations to stop buying Russian oil, and saying in order to bring the brutal fighting in Ukraine to a close, he will have to sit between Presidents Zelensky and Putin. He also said the U.S. has now struck 3 narco-terrorist vessels in the waters off Venezuela, warning embattled President Nicolas Maduro to stop sending gangsters and drugs to the U.S. The president also commended AG Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel for apprehending the alleged killer of conservative activist and friend of Trump, Charlie Kirk, in just 2 days, saying he has assembled the best administration in the country's history.
Well, I would say this right away. Stop sending Tren de Aragua into the United States. Stop sending drugs into the United States. We knocked off actually 3 boats, not 2, but you saw 2. And the problem is there are very few boats out in the water. There are not a lot of boats out in the water. I can't imagine why. Not even fishing boats. There's nobody. Nobody wants to go take a fish. So it's one of those things. But I would say to him very strongly, stop sending people from your prisons into our country. They're sending their prisoners. They've done that already. So the numbers just came out. Another month with 0 people getting into our country. And these are figured, John, with people like you that would like me to do badly. Nobody has ever done on the border like I've done.
It is appropriate, President Trump, that a president in office should be engaged in so much business activity.
Well, I'm really not. My kids are running the business. I'm here. You know what the activity, where are you from?
I'm from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Paul Corners program.
Well, the Australians, you're hurting Australia, right? In my opinion, you are hurting Australia very much right now. And they want to get along with me. You know, your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell him about you. You set a very bad tone.
Well,
go ahead, John.
When the UAE does a deal like
you can set a nicer tone.
When the UAE does a deal, what does it want in return?
Quiet.
Mr. President, what are you hearing about the operation in Gaza, the Israeli operation? Are you concerned?
Well, I'm hearing that they want to go in, and I'm also hearing that Hamas wants to take our 20 hostages plus dead bodies. You know, they have about 32 of them, and they want to put them in the way of any attack. And nobody's happy about that situation. It came out yesterday. I'm sure you saw that. They want to, supposedly they've taken the hostage out of deep caves and tunnels, and they're bringing them, putting them on the front line. Nobody's heard of that one for a few centuries. Well, I just want something to happen, whether it's federal, state, and most likely it's going to be state. The question is whether or not we overlap with a federal judge. So they're looking at that. But the state is very competent. The governor's doing a very good job. As you know, they have the death penalty. It's a tough death penalty, too, as you know. But they have the death penalty. So as to whether or not we judge, we will be working with them. We may or may not be able to judge.
And when it comes to the governor of Utah, what do you make of his overall message of nonviolence?
Well, I agree with it. I agree 100%. But most of the violence is on the left.
He said that social media is a cancer.
What?
Do you agree with that? The Utah governor said that social media is a cancer and more people should log off and take some time away.
Well, it's not a cancer in all respects. In some respects, it's great. But there are segments, there are deep, dark holes that are cancerous, absolutely. Beyond cancer, they're death.
How are you going to get China to open their market?
The Supreme Court this morning denied Patty Willis's appeal of your case removing her from the case. Do you have any response
Well, that was
to
a great decision. It was a rigged case to start off with. It's great. The court just ruled that she is a disaster. She's a disaster with a boyfriend. The boyfriend that she paid $1 million for his expertise, but he never did it before. Now, she should be prosecuted. What she did to people, forget about me, what Fannie Willis did to innocent people, patriots that love our country, what she did to them by indicting them and destroying them, she should be put in jail. She's a criminal. Fannie Willis is a criminal.
Will you apply more pressure to EU and NATO countries not to purchase Russian oil?
I do, but here's the problem. You know the problem. They're purchasing Russian oil. I don't want them purchasing Russian oil, and they've got to stop immediately. Not fair to us. They're purchasing Russian oil, and we have to, do things. Now, the nice part, it doesn't cost us anything anymore. You know that. Yeah. They are buying everything from us, unlike Biden, who gave away $350 billion. We actually make money, but I don't want to make money. You know what I want? I want that war to stop, because last week, 7,018 people got killed. Thank you.
Target was targeted today, just now. You announced 70 patriots in Ukraine 2 months ago.
Where are you from?
Ukraine.
Yes.
Will they come, and do you know when there will come? The patriots.
What
I
will
mean.
come?
The patriots. You announced 70 patriots to Ukraine 2 months ago.
Look, let me just tell you, I love Ukraine. I love the people of Ukraine. That's why I asked. I thought that was a little Ukrainian accent, but the country's in serious trouble. It should have never happened. It's a war that should have never happened. The country's in very serious trouble, but I'm going to get it stopped. I've done seven countries. I've stopped 7 wars in the last 8 months. I thought that would have been the easiest because I know Putin, but it's not, because there's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. But we're going to get it stopped.
How soon will you go to the Supreme Court to stop Lisa Cook?